Got my monkey here. Got a little bit over 70 miles. I'm gonna do an oil change. Actually, let's look at the oil level, or at least look at the how dark the oil got. When I got this thing, the oil was like very clear, and now it's very dark. Normally I wouldn't. Well, I have been known in the past to change the oil pretty soon, just because I like to get that break-in oil out of there. It's not break-in oil; it's just regular oil. It's just what it is all the initial break-in, all the metal in the tiny little particles and such. I want to get that out as soon as possible. Usually you could do that within the first, the first 10 miles, 20 miles. Is where the majority of the break-in occurs, and from there it will slowly happen. But anyways, I have over 70 miles. I got 2 rides on it. First ride was pretty weak, and second ride was actually a little stronger. But the engine has this little, I shouldn't say the engine, I should say the clutch has this little it's like a shaking kind of thing as I release the clutch lever, and the clutch engages. It's like it kind of shakes and vibrates, and that's been ever since the thing was brand new, with less than 1 mile. So it feels like the clutch, something is not very smooth, and it feels like how it feels is, it feels like it's stalling. You know how it's usually when you're letting out the clutch and you don't have enough gas, and it feels like the engine's gonna stall. So that's exactly what it feels like. So I'm gonna change the oil and see if it changes, see if it gets smoother or not. So I got my 17 millimeter here, and the oil bolt is that one right there. There's 2 bolts down here. There's this one that's sitting straight. Basically it's basically sitting straight, or it's pointing straight down, perpendicular. There's another one just past it. Let's see if you guys can see that right there. You see that bolt right there? Just past it, right above the exhaust pipe right here, right there. It's angled forward. That's not the bolt to take off. Okay, so this is the one you want to take off. So this forward bolt, oops, I almost touched that hot exhaust. So this forward bolt up over here, where it's all blurry right now, that forward bolt is the cam chain tensioner. So this is the oil drain bolts, and both bolts have a sealing washer on them. So sometimes that I think that mistake could it's one of those easy mistakes that could happen, where you accidentally screw the wrong bolt open. So got a little oil container here. This is basically a cut off of a gallon, some kind of gallon container. So Jesus, man. So this is kind of typical of a brand new bike. Almost every single brand new bike that I've ever gotten, the oil drain bolt has always been so tight, and also the oil filter as well. And this bike doesn't have a real oil filter, at least not the cartridge one. So it has an oil screen, and it has a centrifugal oil filter, which is actually internal to the case, so you can't get to it unless you open up unless you take these cases apart. I'd actually have to take this case over here off to get to that. So I'm getting I have a longer one versus my shorter one, and it's only like an inch longer, but hopefully it gives me a little bit more leverage, just enough. Let's see. Oh geez, even that one's hard, but I got it open. Container down there. So the exhaust pipe's still a little bit on the hot side. So usually it's a good idea to warm up the engine, because it lets the oil drain out easier. You don't have to, but again, it's just anytime the engine is warm up a little bit, it lets the oil drain out a little quicker. But like I said, you don't have to. You could take it out when it's cold, which is fine. That might be a bad idea, because you won't have you won't have hot parts that you might touch. So I was really quick with my fingers, with my hands. Otherwise, I would have dripped oil everywhere. So let me kind of tilt. Actually, it's on the kickstand right now, so I'm gonna just straighten it out. Straighten out the, or stand up the bike, I should say. I don't want that oil stream to hit the exhaust pipe, basically, because the bulb, the bulge in the exhaust header, that's the catalytic converter. So I didn't want oil to get on there. Man, it's kind of windy today, so it's kind of blowing. Once the oil stream is thinner, it's kind of blowing it. It's a good amount of oil in there. I think the owner's manual says something about being about 1 bottle of oil, basically about 1 liter of oil. Oops, just hit the catalytic converter, dang it. So I was trying not to do. So I'm tilting the bike back and forth just to help drain out the oil. If it's whichever side has as you tilt it back and forth, you can actually see more oil coming out, and that's pretty normal. So a lot of people won't do this. They won't tilt the bike at all. They just leave it on the kickstand or the center stand, and they're just they would just let it drain out, and that's it. And so usually when you tilt it, whatever little bit of extra oil that's there, that's because the engine, when it's not upright, it's not the engine is slightly tilted a little bit, so the oil would drain to one side, and that oil it'll puddle up on that one side a little bit. It's only a few ounces, probably not even a few ounces, probably maybe like half an ounce or whatever. But I'm a little bit OCD, so I like to get everything out. Stripping out the exhaust, which I don't want it to do. So yeah, it looks like it is about 1 liter, maybe even a little bit more, because I'm tilting. It might be a little bit more than 1 liter. You guys can see it how it's a little bit of a puddled and a little bit of a dripping, then it's a solid stream, and it's just me tilting back and forth, trying to get every ounce out as much as I can. Now some of it's actually dripping onto the catalytic converter, and it's dripping outside the container. Just, okay, I think that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay. Now you can see it dripping onto that bulge. That bulge is the catalytic converter. So I'm gonna wipe down my drain bolt here. Just got oil all over my hands here. take off this sealing washer. So the sealing washer is I'm gonna put on a new one. So take that off. Get a new one. Wipe down my drain bolt real fast. Make sure it's cleaner. I need to get another sealing washer. I think I have one. Let me go grab that real fast and let that thing drain. A friend of mine gave me this when he sold his bike. He had like extra parts and stuff, so he gave me this packet of sealing washer. Sealing washers are always aluminum. Well, not always aluminum, but it's always a soft metal, so aluminum or brass, copper, because you need it to be soft. So when you tighten down the bolt, it will crush the washer, and that's how it seals. The washer gets crushed and it would deform, and it forms around the mating surface of whatever of the bolt, the bolt and the in this case the engine side. So there's my new sealing washer. Let's see if this thing still has any oil left. I'm gonna tilt it one more time and see what happens. Otherwise, oil's gonna get drip. Okay, it looks like everything's gone. Oh, a little bit there. So a little bit dripping there. I'm gonna call that good, and I'm gonna wipe down where the bolt is, where the bolt so I'm gonna wipe down that surface. So that surface is actually a machine surface, so it's nice and flat. Wipe that clean, so that way I don't want, if you have like a little dirt and stuff like that on that surface, and that when you tighten up the bolt here, that whatever dirt or whatever you have could be on there, and when this comes up, there's a possibility that the sealing washer doesn't completely lay flat with that surface, and that could cause a leak. So so just looking at my oil right now, it looks like it has maybe more than a liter, more than a bottle of oil. So I got finger. Stop with the finger. Just wipe this down real fast. I should wipe everything down before I pull the oil pan out of the way. Just because I don't want the oil to drip out where I don't want it. Make a mess there. I have a few drops out on the side here, which is fine. This is asphalt. Asphalt is asphalt's made it's made from petroleum products. That's the binder. Because asphalt is basically gravel mostly, a little bit of sand, various size gravels, a little bit of sand. And the binding agent is basically the petroleum part, which is it's like a tar It's a tar-like substance. Alright, so wiped all that oil off. No more drips. Okay, now I can tighten it up. I'm gonna use my shorter wrench, and I just go by feel. So the sealing washers, again, they're aluminum, so they're soft. So when you get to that, I'm already stopped with my fingers. So it stopped. So when I tighten this up, I can actually feel it. I can feel the resistance. I can also feel the aluminum getting crushed down a little bit too. And that's it. So I feel the aluminum crushed down a little bit, and you saw that movement. It was like, it was, you know, I had to stop and I just kind of a little bit, and then also they just kind of moved a little bit. That was the aluminum washer crushing down. Once I get to that point, and that's it. I'm stopping. If I go anymore, you put too much pressure on it, and it's just gonna be real tight to take off. Potentially, you could damage the threads on your engine case, because the engine case is also aluminum as well. All right, so 70 something miles, a little bit over 70 miles. Let's look at this oil. It's pretty clean. When I was pouring it out, it looked pretty clean. I don't see too many oil specks on the surface. Usually when it's newer, or when there's metal particles, you can actually see it's kind of metallic in the oil. And yeah, right now you guys are seeing kind of a mirror finish. Obviously the reflection. Let's see if I could kind of block off that reflection. So I don't see really any metallic particles in it. Oh, there you go. Then now you can see it. You see that? When I did that, you saw a little bit like a swirling pattern, sort of. So I'm not sure you guys can see that. But there was like a little bit of metallic. So there is a slight bit of metallicness in there. Actually, now I can see it. I can actually see it now. Let's get this thing out of the reflection. Yeah, it's just too much light reflection on there, so it's hard to see. But anyways, I could see it. So I don't think you guys can see it on the camera, but I could see it with my eyes. So there is definitely a little bit of metallic in there. So that's what I was expecting. And that's normal, especially when the engine's new. As it gets more used up and more broken in, and when it's fully broken in, you would hardly ever see metallic anymore after that. So that was draining the oil. I tightened up everything back, and now just need to fill it up. I'm going on almost 20 minutes now, close to 20 minutes. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to do a second video of filling it up. All right, stay tuned for that.